Since almost the A of words illuminated the verbs shining light on those action words process of pen to papers no digitals are much faster actually fractional critics acclaim producer approaching some meaning but didn't mean to these actions curbing intellectual progress trapped in awful hypnotics the time is now to mash a pointed view read scribe definitions of that which motivates all you do actually come packing heat practicing sunlight in a box exciting natural gases with magnetism chilling. Concept storage the hot new box package of enlightened mints best new seller the place a stopping point at the drop off where you left her them edges we walking off the earth really the reason behind endless motivation sifting through frozen trash treasures of the future not really the past hate to break this mess but we must desire something and fast being led by others definition stifles both creativity and insight trajectory collections new game underestimation breakthrough human discovery uncovering renaissance. Disco Boogie Night No taught me how to dance but at least the only thing about me is the way I sing I've found 10 times the positive pushes worlds not just technology forcing us to redefine appropriate measures authentic endeavors radically redefining each new level settings multiples never mind the forgotten words when each synonymous convergence reprimanding silence portions pushing past our directive reasserting priorities vanquishing a sanctimonious language linguistically challenged typo. Negative underestimations famously fractalize appealing toward several more audience members last I checked it wasn't against any law to freely define opinion based on personal terminology when formally redefinement prioritizing time well spent picture this irreparable damage delegating instantaneously in accordance with the core of the apple cyanide inside each station didn't tell you the true poison in the programming matrix propaganda sensualizing interrogation calmly understanding four core. Binding untied these concepts and more interpersonal string theory data moves past strings in the autumn brings renewal within each revision editions aligning in real time partially unconcerned with breaking apart tried and true my answers stay unsold non-proofread and most of all non-scripted from the beginning it's not always established the verbiage we conveys not only describing the silver linings yes but as well the transitioning stress remedially under duress please impress upon more asshole act like the victim so they can pretend to once more be a false hero of them staging opposites in fact complement each facet versus reversals Versace picture perfect holidays are mere distractions from the facts of family lifetime as one would grasp it truly the seventh seal and a crutch of a contract only on the flow can we undergo transformation a direct pressure again from the top of the head forget subversive remissions interactive dismissals integrating stitch in time predicating rehearsals reversal continually predicting both the future while in the present concerned only by that definition which prioritizes status then updating timelines of what assessment means to me judge not lest ye be judged or the golden rule book I thought we knew this basic radiation saving race standing record genius time well spent as a construct not always a measurement you see to read between the lines is not really our next evolutionary step but to do battle with yourself find the cracks where the light gets let in understanding. Redefinement has the potential to both raise and save our lives then all of us each and every son and or daughter has the opportunity to become the one with the all in reality Ty Andrew Alexander Douglas. Riche intentions lay plotted upon the spherical grid here schematic deliberately shaded evasive stations patient awaiting reclamations blend ptiskja, EMG frothajal OMG is per RTPLSMSPI, RAMs is FAO, TP crass creativity for the brisk CA. S is A, FPR keys to PEMT omdertome fabrox semto emta, retention doubt, OC som SI. Long on the waist ITP yukjamo m prejemsub, ECP imacastopm P, OS the formate stone by itself a PWM thought traveler trajectories travel day, me E2 without witness B, bimdra, of attaching CRIBS along the trails tales of the traveler for BPDEA, sense of post PROC, references A, PMG OSP, atop me, EMTA, FAO, U begins to squeeze reamds motto E fa, obupid better seek JSJE, tur U jogger and guides every situation OP, T stands front of EGPSE, F bicycle, EI as we travel, through the MLMPWM the, ACE where PM, UIR SPI, DRPA, and of the war I of ever Java OTP, LTPICJ reaffirmed UDP words have the power to arrest J or pitch sugestopm P omopmly S per P topms PMP promote arouses, among forward IPM the sin, E forest Petrie, PVE watch as these as A, Desired Dossier under the sim, Eves is not ICJRPP. As if our desires somehow would not arise notions categorize a claim surely if we are to keep our spirit motions moving forward there must be a way to ignite and watch these ideas burst through and scatter the sky aligning with those mission put in place strengthening each other's valor integrity and honor the house we raise these days cover much more than a patch of land in fact facing through emotion and integrity honest truth rings the same so never leave another soul single or not one. Sister or brother left without make this he's of our sun shrouded waves bask each floorboard makes the ball and masquerade we are nails but not going down to a coffin creating a platform for use to flicker out beyond after leave our mission and those who need you know think of a fan with a lamp slowly let yourself become one rainbow warrior our tech is an idea that cannot be stopped only resisted against slandered and mocked, abundance is the structural basis. The universe is expanding not shrinking. Stand and feel your worth. Have a great day. Untitled document menu back to start hope opens wonder. One love. Hope helps us thwart formally staying open wedging the door to strangers staggers wonderful hope opens wonder essence steam forever beams the stream without a mean pull the sword from deep-rooted meaning beneath the seed conditioning unconditional breed optometry scattered shifted this way and that upon a waltzing premonition weave muster surmises surprises imagery into dreamlike action standardizing faded outlines faded shading just a tad utensils tiptoe hanging gardens out beyond blind spot filth smudge lens outward appearance until cognition utilize fabrics spine solid streaming conscious neatly pressed against placing presence beaten pathing tempo sold down rivers again trades wind jets believe aerodynamic slender as the morning breeze instead of pursuit based biased pattern these motions often attributes describe the disintegration of boredom into wonder stationed directly above 512 heart frequency math constants. Consistently even as parts equal whole yet only architecturally when nothing's left now are designs perfect only when positioning positively generalizes gestural congestion context interluding conceptual heart speak poems lingo lingers inward prognosis in lined polarities emotional tenderizes language shredding both category and meaning something waits and waits with her time actually remainders divide quarters from the one when consoling frequencies beyond dual contrasts infinitely soul does. Motion past the majority incredibly and subtle here within an instant and gone again anytime filters off consciously enough lacquered lucid cut off yet only by fashioning a construct minus observer add the pre-recorded theory as a variable of zero the only possible result from a quantum space-time lullaby corrected through freedom of innocent the youth answering back from this moment forward not unlike since the beginning apologies for acting as wounded healer does connection has never left my heavy heart begs to see. Past obligatory affairs passion actualization rationalizes battle again do no wrong eyes closed the only compass direction are earth the same at center 4 chambers and 1 container retains the points past us our eyes answers have no return for it is only in the question we are all similar organizing systems redistributed shorthand lesson found a voice while procedurally ported projecting mute my offices are silent again stillness envelopes lean the will logic its cause ego emotion affect who. Better than to learn respect than for yourself forcing straight edges amongst moments of truth of one love repeating frequency reflections inner speak different than thinking out loud empathy biscuit let me use my strong hand. It's the same difference. Here check it timing D-psych. We are similar in our differences. The truth is stranger than fiction. Agree to disagree. I'll fight for your ability to insinuate to suggest but will never allow such cohesion to controversy for myself. Rabbits don't lay eggs. Egg laying school is across the road. Where the rubber meets the road or rat packaging foods for those with eyes and ears of course in the shake of a tail or baby's bottle, golden flow of knowing certainty certainly is where we find the artist. Time is art then. This one's for you, us. We the universe. Let's not get ahead of oneself start with solar systems gigabyte or Gaia. Celestial creators gods if need be understanding we are perpetually in service to our community/world planets otherwise known as Earth. Hearts move everywhere, anywhere just move forward doesn't matter speeds. 1 I awoke only to find that the rest of the world was still asleep. Leonardo da Vinci, thoughts not normally incubate like here on Facebook, leaving you the time to think, manifestations delays the principles of time and interrelating dimensional planes, specified topics found through asking, in assertion of fabricated meshing specified topics in real life. Between altruism and self-detention's expression. Internal speaking concept of which stand the test of art. For it equals B Project Jam 4321 24/7 the estimated conversation pieces. Mirrored reflections leading to patterns discussed, creating one's own itinerary for growth is more or less modern in nature pressed upon the consciousness inherent in the mist's vapors of progress contributing to the overall understanding of the self at any given present. Just follow your nose instead of retrogression holding adaptation in contemplations. The answers are there in front of your face, it's in the air, surrounds you yourself the same as all of us. There is no difference that the past cannot untangle. Our question, yes, this pursuit of how is not necessarily your decision but that of a higher concept of living for the entire galaxy to be found within the cracks of ice wholly bypassing pieces irrepressible gift, balanced upon eclipsed reflections given to each of us at birth. Here we are completed anew reorganized and focused cleansed in belonging. Fractionally contemporary at all times. All for one and one for all. Prior to conviction oath leading principles and a sense of inner knowing following that gut feeling the evolution of feeling intuitively present every process of now. Everything found in not a thing but a common stillness manifested majorly by quiet contemplation in meditation producing ever more perfect effects, potent strings of streaming consciousness developing instinctive transcendental per each individual's permission slip. For astral divine field trips best to take a guide of the fire. Incidentally flickering high though, salutations. Intrinsically investigatory in nature's acquiescence quintessential information diverged through the deluge of incidental nothings and significant realizations to the cognitive directive pertaining to the individual's conglomerate of transcendental accomplishments permissible simply once you walk through the door, attributes of evolutionary selection methods becoming challenges increasing difficult to detect to guess. Normally/usually the given subject non-apparent to outward awareness generalities of the human mind in question, usually found within the moment making statements and answering questions. I'll be waiting in suggestion on the other side when you are an institution of said such sensations. I made a creative insight now that I feel accomplished for today. BRT. Have a great day. Stone Andrew Rad Radio called it a circle. Quantum B entanglement. Irrespective of the subject in question. Music is a lot like a feeling. ICP for life I just glide behind the tears of a clown. Do you glass stone or do you stone glass? Unfinished business a type of particle waveform AC/DC current best to be left on the back burners. Antimatter props dissipate desperate malfunctioning translations for a better time once again. Rediscovering the self has all but changed as we know it. I am the equation if the observer changes the results of the experiment. Not the experiment itself. Generous or selfish, just be honest with yourself, stand tall, speak the truth at all times, especially for you and only of the good in others. The only vessel of change is the self. Selfishness, in other words, is the real and only tool for evolutionary challenges, establishment of stress's abolishment. Stress being the fuel of disease. Does not undermine the competitive nature of the human spirit. Good found inherent in the will of the sentient being. Being/becoming a universal peacekeeper. Debt at birth per us citizen. 2000. 5 trillion. Divided by 300 million. 16,666.6666667. Today. 17 trillion. Divided by 350 million. 48,571.4285714. Personally, I don't mind paying for safety of the past. I was 15 on this day, didn't even have a chance, only against a real outlined enemy. What about the misuse of 1.3 tons on the day before by Rumsfeld? These are the unanswered questions that push the truth movement beyond our family relationships. If you want to understand the divorce rate and gender wars, these are illusory enemies, not a real outlined and clear antagonist has never been implemented. And about the drug terror, or now a seemingly gender war, how many unscrupulous arbitrary topics are we going to let complicate our lives? Simplicity is the depth of life, keep it simple, These aren't irrational questions by a lunatic. I'm a concerned citizen with no control, watching the people and world I love slowly go insane, over a simple lie, albeit a big lie. When we fight fake enemies, there is no justification for the horrors committed, tragedy in the name of defiance, otherwise known as treason. We the people did not want war, Congress never voted to go to war, yet we are stuck with the tab. Is this logical? Gender equality means, there is one bathroom. Woman studies, guess what, celebrates women. Imagine that, rather than focusing the inequalities on something that takes an army to protect, once the banks have ravaged the land according to their global domination agenda. What then? Because the banks don't know how to create anything, everything they do is made up out of thin air. If money is the root of evil, then let us all look into fractional reserve lending. No, this is not the number of times Ferris Bueller was absent. Innocent people were murdered, trillions stolen, and even worse, the oppressors are still in power. We cannot ever get out of this Middle Eastern conflict until we face the facts and penalties for our actions. Answers or overthrow and begin making true amendments for the slaughter of innocent lives. We've become what we hate. We are not liberators, we are the oppressors. Indeed, of not freedom of religion but holy war in the name of religion. This is the reason for separation of church and state. We are all God's children created equally. This is fundamental to our nation, regardless of which part of the globe you are born. This is fundamental. Before we can get a handle on making reparations, we must be honest with ourselves. Maybe you didn't pull the trigger, maybe you did. Nevertheless, there is only compounding the problem, and the interest goes to the crooks who gained all the rebuilding contracts. Those corporations are now in control of our war investments. Do you see, if we spend half of the world's money on war, and get no return, where is the incentive? The world is not become more peaceful. In fact, we are in a perpetual cycle of never-ending WW3 possibility, and yes, they have the capability. The dollar is backed with your life, not gold. You are the inventor, you have the power of the oppressed on your side, you have nothing to worry about. If you are entangled in some unruly corporate or religious extremism where people might get hurt, stop. Turn yourself in, and cease the madness for others, and maybe a cease to your own perpetual madness one day. This is not going to stop. We cannot move forward until we learn the lessons of yesterday. Turn yourself into the proper authorities. If there is hope, they will end these malicious crises and we can actually have a shot at world, global peace for once. The tragedy is there is no going back, but we can change the way we view the world moving forward. Thank you, blessing. And what do you think this is, Dexter? Yeah, a good serial killer, right? Wrong. One love. All wars are civil because all men and women are family. What do you not understand about opposite inverses, always in opposition? Oh, you thought I was talking about shade of skin tone. I thought this black/white concept of duality was pertaining to said such oppositions of a spectrum, or need we go back to kindergarten to learn our palettes? Do you understand? There are no black or white people, regardless of how close to the equator your ancestry hails. This isn't a struggle between cats and dogs either. Remember, same family, same species. If you're looking for some kinda alien look toward your animals, they are our responsibility to protect. Yes, as human beings, this nostalgic racism or religious identity crisis are fallacies of a given nature. They are prognosis of the perpetrator, not a reflection of unbiased facts. People kill people, not guns. As for me, I identify with the pulse of the maggots, or a red-nosed reindeer, and yes, I am known to play games, but would never intentionally harm myself or others, ever seeking to better my own ability toward a positive influence to the world around me. No matter what color crayon you carry, it still colors shit on paper. Sorry, I'm a musician, not a painter, drawer. Anyways, we are all pros and cons and such, good and some things better at others. Hope this makes sense. Perpetually changes from day to day, instead of insisting on arbitrary nonsense which stems from the very controversy from which pollutes our esteemed value system. Constitutionally, we are endowed with unalienable rights, of which are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. these are being alienated when using such invalid nonsense as white/black, which is at best a form of reverse propaganda. We are brown/pink if you want to fight about it. We are given these rights by the notion that we are all created equally. All created equally. Now if you believe that or not, you do much more than matter. Your only battle is with the undead. Once you go undead you never go back. That's a joke, to lighten the mood, but anyways, don't misconstrue this topic, or my incoherent conjugations, as constituent to my opinion. Fucking disclaimers. Anyways, to say the least, you are native to America, then you are Native American, so forth and so on. If you're Native European, then you are so, but still in the image of the Creator. All men are created equal. Individuals relinquish this determination. Yet its crucible is the only insightful value, of which we hold dear to our nation's survival, let alone vital to the destruction of cultural rhetoric, coming together as the human race, uniting the world into the human race through consent, one day approaching worldwide acceptance that we are all equal. Red, yellow, black and white, the medicine wheel spins, rotates in stairs. You matters more than you know. The way to challenge oneself is to go beyond the barrier, to look outside the box. But does convenience bring us comfort? Or do we grow by challenging the status quo? By stepping outside our zone? If truth be told that our illusions can be destructive, then why not challenge the beliefs of what we have constructed? I'm not good enough, or so we're told, unless I have some quality products tenfold. Truth is every person is whole from the start, no matter how old. But what's more destructive, the truth that we are one, or the illusions that cover them? Do not let the mold of a face lose memory. You are the basis of currency, as a human being citizen. Coins are pressed from gold, there is a standard amount of gold. Human genius, on the other hand, is infinite. Back to such and such as before mentioned events, the expansion of mind expands, to meet the ever-growing needs of the expanding mind expands. Same is the case with unnecessary baggage. Manifesting bewilderment with a clever concept of cause perpetually reigns that which the will silently requests, to determine plausible results, not only for there is, but I am, and also always adding the additional we are, effectively putting into question motive and overall gooey goodness, when intelligibly understanding our overt estimations could verily belong to the very refusal to belonging. The universe does not always understand positive or negative charges as such. Here the we understand a neglecting combination. Ambiguity of singularity. The act of flying up a stairs, it's not the same as not failing or not stubbing your toes. In a picture-perfect world, request a new spreadsheet, a blank page to start from scratch each and every time. Understanding this divine and sacred matrix only emits based on quality of intent. There is no other way. Start today with no bank limit. The universe is yours. Be happy first, then get a car or whatever you desire. Just make sure you're not at the bike store. Your wish is your command, and so it is. 1 OVE will cause collected. 1 OVE effective equal rights means one bathroom. I love hovels and ovals, the cyclic nature of all things. A supreme endeavor. Who needs the lottery? Why, when we've already won the chance to race? We are the 100% occupy. Oneness. RWCA ho, the people revolution is gonna be a podcast. Good things are on their way. Losing my audience. There never was such a thing for the red road traveler. Ideas are bulletproof, as is your right to travel across vast discrepancies. Transmissions of the 5D ascending sentiently, tranquility, aspiration exacerbate trivial aptitudes, doomed relentless incarnations. Invisible genetic memory spectrum traverses this actualization, written in stone. Remembrances reminiscent, bleak in upbringing, scattered fragments of mortality, pieces, rigidity of the night. Sacraments solemnly congesting our inequities, inherent of advanced biomechanics. Irrefutably futile acquiescing premonitions of situational future tense, passing the moment to the reluctance of our common upbringings. Simply put, the mind can be a prison. The bars its limitations in shadow forms. Our light diminishes. Spinning fans immersed in rotation. Fractures claim the most innocent of soul, the same ways it's dangerous to raise to heights taller than one's own stature. Interrogatory inconsistency is indeed a measure of Oda practice, if you will to endure the reputation of intuitions. Instinctual clauses found in silent study, burning the midnight oil and transposed onto a digital mainframe when accompanied by Sense and source of apparent upheaval in consideration in accordance with the source of all being when no matter where we try to hide. The answers are always found inside the self, not really ever an external rendition of obligatory applause. The translations of such occurrence, time-elapsed negotiations exacerbating our eternal understanding, I am another you, you are another me. How many ways can we say these things? Let us conduct our lives counting the ways of which we can grow, move up and forward, overcoming this ordeal of communication problems. Invention of the artist. We are a sponge like amoeba in nature, all feeding from the same source, identically panned, of course parallel. Namaste. One we re going down, but not our love, not our love. Nope. One love all day. One by J. Sayad. 3.